I discovered my girlfriend secretly exchanging gifts with her ex. Would I be the villain for ending our 5-year relationship? Hey Reddit. My girlfriend and I have been together for 5 years, 5 long years of building a life, making memories, and planning for a future that I now realize might have been nothing more than a beautifully crafted illusion. It all started about 2 months ago when I noticed a subtle but undeniable shift in her behavior. She became more protective of her phone, tilting the screen away from me whenever she was texting, setting her notifications to private, and even taking longer than usual in the bathroom, always with her phone in hand. At first, I chalked it up to stress from work or maybe just needing some space. But then, little things started adding up, things I couldn't ignore. She suddenly had these random bursts of happiness, walking in with a glow on her face like she had just received the best news of her life. And the strangest part? These moments almost always coincided with the arrival of unexpected packages or flower deliveries. At first, I didn't think much of it. I assumed maybe it was from a friend or even a colleague. But then, curiosity got the better of me. One afternoon, a delivery arrived while she was in the shower. It was a bouquet of her favorite flowers, white lilies and red roses, a combination she had once told me symbolized love and remembrance. The card attached simply read, "Thinking of you. Hope this makes you smile." No name, no signature. Just those words. My heart sank, but I still tried to convince myself that it was harmless. Maybe an old friend, maybe even a coworker being thoughtful. But deep down, something in me was screaming that this wasn't normal. So, I did something I never thought I would. I started paying more attention, observing her reactions when these gifts arrived. She never acted surprised. In fact, she almost seemed expectant, as if she knew they were coming. That was my first real red flag. The second came when I found a small, expensive bracelet in her drawer that I had never seen before. It was tucked away carefully in a velvet box, and the moment I touched it, I knew this wasn't something she bought for herself. Someone had given it to her. And it sure as hell wasn't me. The final straw came last week. She left her laptop open while she was in the shower, and a notification popped up. It was an email with the subject line, "Can't stop thinking about you." My stomach twisted into knots as I clicked on it, fully aware that I was about to cross a line, but knowing I had no other choice. The message was from her ex, the same guy she had claimed to have completely cut out of her life years ago. The email was filled with flirtatious words, inside jokes, and references to their past, but what made my blood run cold was the closing line, "I hope you love the flowers and the bracelet. Can't wait to see you again." I don't know how long I sat there staring at that screen, my mind racing through every possible explanation, every possible excuse she could give. But there was none. She had been lying to me for God knows how long. Not only was she in contact with her ex, but they were exchanging gifts, and from the sound of it, meeting up behind my back. 5 years. 5 years of love, trust, and devotion, and this is what I get? I waited for her to come out of the shower, my heart pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. When she walked into the room, towel wrapped around her body, smiling like nothing was wrong, I couldn't hold it in any longer. I simply asked, "Who's been sending you gifts?" Her smile faltered, just for a second, but it was enough. She knew. She knew she was caught. "What are you talking about?" she asked, feigning ignorance. I pulled up the email and turned the screen towards her. Her face went pale. "Is there something you want to tell me?" I asked, my voice eerily calm despite the storm raging inside me. She opened her mouth, then closed it again. Then, as if some switch flipped inside her, she launched into a mess of half-baked excuses. "It's not what it looks like," she started, stepping towards me. "I swear, I didn't mean for it to happen. He reached out, and I didn't think it was a big deal." I let out a bitter laugh. "Not a big deal? You've been receiving flowers, gifts, and who knows what else from your ex, and you didn't think it was a big deal." Tears welled up in her eyes, but I wasn't sure if they were from guilt or just the fact that she had been caught. "It was never anything physical," she whispered, as if that made it any better. I missed the way he made me feel sometimes. But I never wanted to hurt you." I stared at her, feeling completely numb. "You missed the way he made you feel?" I repeated, my voice void of emotion. "And what about me? What about us? Did you ever stop to think about how this would affect me?" She reached for my hand, but I pulled away. "Please," she begged. "I love you. I don't want to lose you." I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted to believe that this was just a stupid mistake, that she could make this right. But I couldn't ignore the betrayal, the lies, the secrecy. If she had truly loved me the way she claimed, she never would have entertained any of this. I stood up, my decision already made. "I think we're done here," I said, my voice steady despite the pain tearing through me. "I can't be with someone who doesn't respect me enough to be honest. 5 years, and this is what you chose?" She started sobbing, pleading with me to reconsider, swearing that she would cut him off, that she would do anything to fix this. But it was too late. She had already made her choice. I packed a bag that night and left. I didn't know where I was going, but I knew I couldn't stay. My heart was shattered, my mind a whirlwind of anger, hurt, and disbelief. How do you move on from something like this? How do you erase 5 years of love and memories overnight? As I drove aimlessly through the city, I wondered if I had made the right choice. Had I been too harsh? Was there even a chance of salvaging what we had? Or was I just delaying the inevitable by even considering it? I don't know what comes next. Maybe I made the biggest mistake of my life by walking away, or maybe I just saved myself from years of further heartbreak. Either way, I need answers. I need to know why she did it, how long it had been going on, and whether I was truly the only one in our relationship who thought we had something real. And so, as I sit here trying to make sense of everything, I know one thing for sure: I need closure. Because without it, I don't think I'll ever be able to move on. And the worst part? I don't even know if I want to hear the truth, because I'm terrified that it'll hurt even more than the betrayal itself. Update. It's been a few days since I walked out, and I wish I could say things have gotten easier. They haven't. If anything, the pain has settled into something deeper, something that doesn't just sting, it lingers. I've been staying at a friend's place, trying to sort through the mess of emotions swirling in my head, but no matter how much I try to distract myself, I can't shake the questions that won't stop haunting me. How long had this been going on? Did she ever really love me, or was I just a placeholder for someone she never truly let go of? She's been calling nonstop. At first, I ignored her. Let her messages pile up, let her guilt fester the way her betrayal had done to me. But then, curiosity got the better of me. Maybe it was the part of me that still wanted to understand. Maybe I was just a glutton for punishment. Either way, I finally picked up. She started crying the moment she heard my voice. Kept repeating that she was sorry, that she never meant to hurt me, that she just got caught up in something stupid. I stayed silent, letting her talk, because I wanted to hear it all. I needed her to say the words out loud, to admit what she had done instead of dancing around the truth. She told me it started about 6 months ago. He had reached out, claiming he just wanted to check in, see how she was doing. She thought it was harmless at first. Just friendly conversation, nothing more. But then the messages became more frequent, the nostalgia started creeping in, and before she knew it, she was back in that space where he made her feel like she was someone special. That's what she said, he made her feel wanted in a way she hadn't felt in a long time. That hit me harder than anything else. Because if that was true, what the hell had I been doing for the past 5 years? Had I been blind to her unhappiness? Had I somehow made her feel like she needed validation from another man? She swore up and down that nothing physical ever happened, that it was all just emotional, but honestly, I don't know if that makes it any better. The fact that she was emotionally invested in someone else, someone she had history with, felt worse in some ways. She had checked out of our relationship long before I even realized something was wrong. I asked her why she didn't just leave if she was so unfulfilled. Her answer? She was scared. She didn't want to throw away what we had, but at the same time, she couldn't bring herself to cut ties with him either. She was selfish. Those were her words, not mine. And for the first time, I actually believed her. She begged me to come back, to talk things through in person, to see if there was a way to fix this. I told her I needed time to think. But deep down, I think I already knew, some things just can't be fixed. Another update. A week has passed, and my thoughts are no clearer than they were before. I went back to our apartment today, not to talk, not to reconcile, but to grab the rest of my things. I gave her a heads up, told her I didn't want a scene, that I just wanted to pack and go. She said she understood, but when I arrived, she was sitting on the couch, looking like she hadn't slept in days. She didn't try to stop me. Didn't say much at all, actually. Just sat there, watching as I moved through the space we had once shared, stuffing years of my life into a few bags. It was surreal, like I was a stranger in my own home. Every object I touched felt like it had a memory attached to it, and for a brief moment, I hated myself for still caring. Then, as I was about to leave, she finally spoke. She asked me one last time if there was any chance at all, that we could work through this. That maybe, with time, we could find our way back to each other. And for the first time since this whole thing started, I wasn't angry. I wasn't hurt. I just felt done. I told her the truth, that even if I forgave her, I would never be able to forget. That every time I looked at her, I would wonder if she was thinking about him. That trust, once broken, is almost impossible to rebuild. She started crying again, but I didn't stay to watch. I walked out the door and didn't look back. Final update. It's been a month since I ended things, and I'd be lying if I said it hasn't been tough. The first few days were the hardest. I kept waking up expecting to hear her beside me, reaching for her out of habit before remembering that she was gone. That we were gone. It's a strange kind of grief, mourning someone who's still alive. But as time passes, I realize that I made the right choice. The pain is still there, but it's dulled, no longer consuming me the way it did in the beginning. I've started focusing on myself again, hitting the gym, reconnecting with old friends, throwing myself into work. And for the first time in a long time, I feel like I'm moving forward instead of standing still. She still texts me occasionally. Just short messages, asking how I'm doing, if I'm okay. I never respond. Not because I hate her, but because I know that answering will only drag me back into something that I've fought so hard to leave behind. I've thought a lot about what I would do if she ever truly asked for another chance. If she showed up at my door, swearing that she had changed, that she had learned from her mistakes. And the answer is simple, I wouldn't take her back. Not because I don't believe in second chances, but because some betrayals are too deep to come back from. I'm not angry anymore. Not really. If anything, I just feel sorry for her. Sorry that she couldn't see what she had when she had it. Sorry that she needed someone else's attention to remind her of her worth. And sorry that, in the end, she lost the one person who would have given her everything if she had just chosen to be honest. So this is it. The final chapter. I don't know what the future holds, but I do know this, I deserve better. And for the first time in a long time, I'm ready to find it.